I was able to get #1 in the world on a quiz about drawing the Canadian provinces and territories. This is how I did it and how you can too. So, what I'm going to start with, I have this map with the huge quiz where I have to draw these states on this map. And so I'm going to use this map that I've created so I can see the borders, and I'm going to copy those down onto the real map on Huge Quiz in order to get those good scores and create an actual map. The first one that's going to start me with is Northwest Territories, which is up in the middle on the top. It's a pretty big state actually, or territory. It has 2 lakes in it, the Great Bear Lake and the Great Slave Lake. We're going to use those as a base for our drawing the state. On the west, there's the Yukon border, which just kind of goes down through the mountains. It's hard to draw. And then the right, it goes up halfway and then over at a shallow angle before it goes above the Great Bear Lake. So this is when I'm going to get to drawing it. It will take a minute, but it's a good drawing. I realize here that I've started from I need to see another lake in order to start from the right place. It's this one down here. That's where the right side starts from. So I'll go up. Before I X out of that ad. Up halfway, a very shallow angle to the left before this little bump you'll see. And now above the Great Bear Lake, I go up. Now I just trace the coast, which, while I'm doing that, I'll tell you some more about what my channel does. My channel is just supposed to be like a mix of different things that people might be interested and centered on learning different things about sports and geography and anything I can actually teach people about. So as I do the Yukon border, I just do a rough line. You'll see I let go and it automatically draws a straight line for me on the southern border. The southern border is just north of this little lake right here. Now I'm going on to Manitoba. We have this same border here, and then this same level border. So you'll just see me follow that. I draw it down to just south of the little line that is the 50th parallel. Now we go right up when we reach Lake of the Woods, and then when we get to these little lakes, we go 45-degree angle right. Then we just trace, and we're done. Northwest Territories got a 93 and Manitoba got a 92. Those are pretty good. Saskatchewan's easy. We just put the left border in the middle of this lake, the bottom border down here. Now for none of it, we've already traced all of the borders. There's just coastlines that I'll need to trace. You can see that on this map. but you would use the same strategy if you get none of it before Northwest Territories, so I don't know. Like, it sometimes is hard to draw. There's this. This is a peninsula, you do trace this. This is a peninsula, you do trace this. This is an island, and this is an island, though, so you're not tracing either of those, just so you know. I do make a mistake here by missing that bay, but it's fine. So on none of it, I'm gonna get like a 91, I feel like. 92. That's just because I've messed up somewhere on the Northwest Territories border. I think I've included too much in Northwest Territories. Now I'm on to New Brunswick, which I might have to skip part of because I got distracted by something during this, so I pause for a couple seconds. We go to the map. For New Brunswick, there's 2 rivers, the coastline, but then there's some weird things. There's this weird straight line, and the Quebec St. Lawrence border is kind of odd. So I kind of guess on how I'm drawing this. I get to that river and follow it, then I go straight down like the main border, and then I take this river down and trace the border from there. By the way, this is Nova Scotia. I don't have to draw this because it's just an island, but that is part of it. So you don't include this in your New Brunswick drawing. That one I get a 91, which is pretty bad because New Brunswick's definitely one of the harder ones. It's small, but it's hard to draw. Now we're doing Ontario. You saw on that map how we have the Manitoba border. We have to consider Angle Township in the US, which is this thing by Lake of the Woods. But then we just go down right, follow the Great Lakes, and then there's a river right here that we're gonna follow for the edge. We go up and then over up. Ontario also has, Ontario has a lot of weird points. There's this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. But they're not too hard to draw. Ontario's a 91. That's not actually very good. I think it's because I messed up Manitoba pretty badly. And my tracing skills are not great. Now we're on Yukon, which is like well, actually it's the second hardest one on this game. You have that huge mountain border. You'll notice a trend in Canada that a lot of their provinces have mountain borders, which can be kind of random at times. That's also what makes the Europe version of this quiz so hard. You have to do mountain borders for like France and Spain, What else? Oh, Alps with Switzerland, Italy, Germany. So you kind of just have to guess for some of these. I get a 94 on Yukon, which is actually really good. I was surprised by that. Now we draw British Columbia, which, from like what I'm drawing here, looks suspiciously like California, but I don't know why. You have a big mountain border on the right, which is tough to draw. Then you have to guess when to go up, which I have gotten pretty well at this point, but it's still hard. You have another little thing with the Alaska border where there's this point and then up and down, and then the coastline is like insanely hard to draw, so I just trace it roughly. That's probably losing me points. I think I would consider Yukon and British Columbia the hardest to get 98 or higher on, just because they're nearly impossible to get 98 or higher on because they have so many mountain and coast boundaries. And Labrador, you'll see that later. On Alberta, I'm just tracing everything. I'd reconsider where I put this border, and then I draw slightly straighter lines. Now I'm on Labrador. So Labrador's boundaries, if I show it, okay, here we go. I'm gonna pause the thing here. You see how there's all of this like random mountain, I don't know, switches, and then you have this point here and this, which is part of Quebec. So now how I'm gonna draw Labrador, I literally just like do random lines. I kind of follow what that map shows, but not extremely well. I need to get 175 points in order to beat first place, who is at 1001. I am just tracing this roughly again, like British Columbia. I'm probably losing a lot of points, but it doesn't really matter. So on Labrador, I get 83, which is very low, but who cares? Well, to be honest, I was getting like 40s on Labrador when I started, so it's a major improvement. Quebec, we just follow these two rivers, St. Lawrence and whatever that one is, and then go up, follow the Labrador, and then coastlines. Quebec's actually a really fun one to draw, even though, you know, you have to draw the Labrador border, but that's fine. I think I've gotten my highest score on Quebec. I got like a 97 or a 98 once. Or no, I got 98 on Saskatchewan, but Quebec's second highest. So I've gone down. I couldn't see the river. I thought I had done the Ontario border wrong right there, but I think I might not have. And so I finished this quiz with a 96 on Quebec, which puts me at 10:06. That is higher than the world record by colleagues of 10:01. So this is how you guys can get world number 1 on this quiz just using a map. I mean, I can, if you want to just screenshot this, I don't think I'll send it to people because that seems overkill, but yeah, I hope you learned something from this